Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for the Monday Q&A. So let's get it started. First question, how to deal with an intercostal strain. This is why I quit using a 13mm belt for squatting, and I switched to a 10mm because every time I miss a heavy rep with the 13 and get buried, I strain an intercostal. For me, when I strain one of these, I've found, because I've done it twice in the last year and a half, done it twice, I found that I needed a week off from training. I could bench press, but I could not do any sort of squatting, deadlifting, rowing, or overhead pressing. And definitely not any core work. So I found I had to quit doing those for an entire week. I couldn't even come in and do them light to try to maintain motor patterns. I found it's just best to take a week off from doing them and then come back and ease back into it gradually. Now your recovery might be different because of the degree of straining, but for me that's roughly what it was. And if you happen to have a cold and you're coughing, it's going to suck. There's not really much else you can do there. It's not a muscle that you can really do much about because of the location, unfortunately. Alright, next question. Why do the majority of people squat and deadlift more than their bench press? Alright, that one's really simple and easy to answer because the bench press, well, the power bench could be considered to some extent a full body movement because you use a little leg drive to get it started. Leg drive is only going to add 5 or 10 pounds to your bench press, really. So it is still effectively a chest, shoulder, and tricep movement. Those are smaller, weaker muscles, whereas in the squat utilizes the big, heavy prime movers in the body. In fact, I know plenty of big guys who deadlift twice what they bench. The only reason you see high bench numbers close to things like deadlift and like equipped powerlifting is because of the equipment. If they're doing it raw, they're not going to be close, and it's because you're utilizing things like the lats, the spinal erectors, the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the big, strong muscles of your body. And to be honest, your chest and arms aren't really that big and strong compared to those other muscles in your body. So by default, you wouldn't expect to be able to move the same amount of weight if you're even close to proportionately developed. Alright, next question. Jason, I have done PHAT in a half year now, but that shit has made me too tired, and the program is too much for me since I'm a beginner. If I do your 5x5 program instead, will I lose my strength progress from the last half year, stall, get less gains, etc.? No, man. I'll try to say it nicely. PHAT is way too much volume, way too much exercise selection. The way that template is even roughly laid out for anyone who is a novice or an intermediate, and you are simply going to make slower gains on it. I would say that program is really only a good program for actual serious bodybuilders who are relatively advanced. And I would say that less than 1% of guys who ever join a gym and train seriously are going to be at a stage to where PHAT would be a fantastic program for them. They're not going to reach that point. I wouldn't recommend it for the vast majority of people accordingly. What you're going to find on my novice program, you will probably not only keep all your progress, you will probably make faster progress, both in terms of strength and size on it, and you're not going to be as tired all the time. So no, you're going to get the opposite effect. You're going to make better gains because you're still effectively a novice, and a properly structured novice program is going to give you faster progress, even though you're going to be in the gym a little less. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 2.